welcome to BWB. And we have a very special episode today. And today's topic is super fun. It is Oops, that character was me. When the authors secretly sneak themselves into stories, you will know what we have done with our books, and we will hear about those little habits which we have put in our characters, the funny moments, fears, dreams, and basically all the way their own lives shown up in the characters you love. So get ready for laugh, surprises, and some behind the scenes stories you won't forget. With this, I'm opening today's episode and we will start with Dr. Geeta Kariyappa. Over to you.
Hi everyone. Being superstitious might seem harmless, even comforting, but it's not the same as being positive. Don't you agree? Positivity comes from inner strength and resilience, while superstition makes us dependent on signs, rituals, or luck outside of our control. Instead of empowering us, it takes away our confidence, to face life with clarity and courage. And this is exactly what happened in my life. And I have chronicled it in my book, Curly Tales and curly tales from here and there. So, just to give it to you in brief, what happened was I am a small town girl. I was born in a small town of Mysore in Karnataka, and my mother was a very religious person. She used to all the time do the pujas, and even ours is ancestor worshipping culture, and there used to be a lot of functions around that. And then even there were so many do's and don'ts which I had just lost notice of how many of them were there. All the time, don't do this, don't go there, don't touch this, don't clip your nails on Tuesdays, and don't throw the dust outside on in the evening. All these used to follow me around. My favorite was about the diamond stones. She always used to say, if you lose a diamond stone, it is going to be inauspicious. So as luck would have it, I got engaged when I was in my undergrad itself. And my husband, he said he's going to wait for me until I complete my graduation. And then, there was just an engagement that was done. And then he was an engineer in the shipping corporation, and he set sail. So then one day before going, he came home with a diamond ring, which had 5 big stones. And since nobody was at home, he was at loss as to what to do. He quickly gave it to me and rushed out of the house. And I was also not knowing whether I should make him wear it on my finger or, just keep it inside. And I just took it and I kept it inside the cupboard. So when my mom came, she was aghast. She said, "Oh, you should have kept it in front of the idol." And she made me keep it in front of the God. And then for one full week, I had to pray to that diamond ring. And I was like, I was fearful. Oh, what will happen? And then she made me wear it after that week. And every time I used to check whether the stones are in the socket because I was so scared. What if the stones fall down and bad luck is going to follow me all around? And then, not to be put into that loop, I just removed it and kept inside the cupboard. And then I had to, my marriage happened and everything. And then I went, with my husband aboard the ship. And then a year later, I returned to my mother's place for my confinement. And the ring came onto my finger. It fed my vanity at that time to wear it. And then every time, I would just admire it. And even then my mother's words would follow me. Oh, be careful of the stones. You shouldn't lose your diamond ring. Then what happened one day? So it was the cold winter nights. And it was so nice to snuggle under the warm blanket and go to sleep. And as usually, I used to wake up at least once in the night to go to the washroom. And that day also I had sat up sleepily on the bed too, just before going to the washroom. And then I drowsily looked at my finger. And then what you see, one stone is missing. I had a mini heart attack. And I was in my 8th month of pregnancy. I didn't know what to do. I got out of bed and it was around 3 o'clock in the morning. I went to my mother's bedside and I woke her up. She was fast asleep. She sat up in the bed, startled, and then she looked at me. I said, "My stone is missing. My diamond is missing." And then she said, "Yes, this is what I had warned you about. Now what can be done? Bad luck will surely follow. Go back to sleep." And she turned over and went back to sleep. Now I didn't know what to do and I started weeping. And then I came back and I went for some more time and then not to be done anything else, I went back to sleep. And then in my dream, I saw the stone underneath the bed in the darkness, glimmering and shining. And when I woke up from my sleep, I saw that I'm still lying on the bed. So then, in all that pregnant state, I got down from the bed, and on my haunches, I looked down, and what do you see? I saw that tiny dot of a diamond sparkling in that corner under the bed. You can imagine my joy. But then, what is my takeaway today? It is that positivity is about building trust in ourselves and our journey, while superstition keeps us tied to external crutches. We don't want that to happen, right? True strength comes from within, not from rituals or signs. When we choose confidence over dependence, we set ourselves free. This is my takeaway in the book, and I hope you enjoyed listening to my story. And this is Curly Tales from Here and There. Thank you. What do you think, Siddharth? What is your take on your journey? Please share.
And that is a lovely story, Dr. Geeta. So I completely enjoyed it. Oops. So I had, yeah, so when I was writing Adventures Having my debut novel, there is a chapter there where I was actually talking about the Roman era. And in that, I was imagining gladiator scene where Russell Crowe is a gladiator, and I am like this thin guy roaming around, in that large arena. And it is a very funny incident which I have written in a chapter. The chapter name is Finding Cure, and in that there is a scene where Sammy is a very thin guy. He is a 14-year-old boy, and he faces a kind of a Hercules kind of character. So it is very interesting, funny scene. So picture this. I'm just going to just narrate what is happening in that scene. So 1 second he is in the jungle sipping some nasty green juice that smell like boiled spinach married to a dead lizard. And the next second, bam, he opens his eyes and standing in what looks like Rome, not the Rome like pizza and pasta Rome, but this is the gladiator Rome. People in togas screaming, waving flags, woohoo, fight, fight. Like, bro, I am 14. My biggest fight so far was with a mosquito in my bedroom. And that is a truth for me also. But then they were shouting, kill that insect. That insect is not anybody else but Sammy himself. Excuse me, did they just call me an insect? I was hoping for something cooler, like a tiger, lion, handsome boy, but nope, straight to cockroach status. That suddenly the gates open with the dramatic clank, 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 and out walks this thing. Not a man, not a human. This is a building with arms, 12 feet tall, carrying a spear and an axe. Like, why two was the why two was the sword shop having a buy one get one free offer, and the crowd screaming Hercules, Hercules, and I am standing there like, hi, I am Sammy. I'm still asleep with my nightlight. That was a kind of scene I had researched in, and then comes the most important part where, there is a ghost type of character in Adventures of Sammy, who is actually influencing Sammy, and he says like, "Don't worry, you just have to kill Hercules and get back." So Sammy is in that mode. Just kill Hercules? Oh, sure. Let me just poke him in the kneecap with my imagination. Buddy, I don't even know how to pick up weapons. So that is where the laughter scene is, and there is a lot of. I will not disclose the climax scene, but it is a very hilarious scene. And when I was doing writing it, I like imagining all this happening in front of me. It was like a dream scene in front of me. But at the end, there is a positive note where it actually ends. And it has a takeaway definitely that sometimes victory isn't about strength or courage. It is about, having that right frame of mind at the right time. So that is how this story ends. And it was so hilarious writing it. I just enjoyed writing it. So that's my oops time when I got into this adventurous Sammy character and I wrote this story. Over to you, Shitapa. Your oops time.
Yes, I am just laughing at that story which you have created, and I have read the book. It's one amazing book, and I could still feel the scene in front of me which you were narrating. And yeah, your oops moment is beautiful. Just with this, I can remember one oops moment which I had created in Tales of Aryan. So what the Atheria which I have built is an imagination world, which is my imagination world, totally from the childhood moments when I wanted something like that during my growing up days, that I wish there was a world like this. So one of the part which I want to bring in is memory cabins. So I always felt that if I am walking in a room and it turns into something beautiful, like in the book I say that memory cabins is those rooms that change based on what you need to learn. So imagine you are walking through a jungle where every tree whispers facts about environment, or traveling to ancient times you see history, and this helps you to understand and retain that knowledge for a longer time. I always felt that if I can see through visualization, it will help me to remember. And history was something which I always felt like, oh, if it could have happened in front of me, in I could have seen those things, I would have remembered each king, queen, and their battles better than just reading the chapter, which becomes a little boring for me. So I had created time travel rockets, that take us to trip through history and universe, and I can explore. And that was my feeling of going to my imagination world and explore those places which we that time cannot. We didn't have color TV uh, for some years of my childhood. So these were all my imagination. I wish I could see in those pictures and those things live in front of me. And I had created this world of Etheria where the school has all these facilities. So this is how I could relate that part. And there was Aryan's one more thing which relates with me is like when he is battling, the demons or the fear which he goes and battles. So I always was like, uh, uh, during taking anything major change in my life, I will be always like, will I be able to do it? What will happen? This that few questions I will definitely ask myself, and then that courage within myself will come that, oh, go, you will do it. And that push comes even now, and I go do things after that. That push still remains in me. So I gave that push to Aryan to push others that go do your things. So that's how I've written Tales of Aryan, and I can connect. So over to you, Sujata, for more insights from your oops moment.
Okay, thank you, Shritapa. Actually, what you said relates so well with me also. Because, as a writer also, I put it in, as a the disclaimer in my copyright page that this book is a work of fiction. But actually, let me confess, sometimes, you know, uh, it's straight from my life, some moments. And then I realize, oops, that was actually happened. That actually happened with me. Like I remember how this novel came into being also. My first book, Entangled Destinies, this is the book. And this is the Hindi version of it. Okay. So we were on a holiday in Varanasi. We saw the beautiful ghats, flowing Ganga, endless cups of chai with my brothers and sisters. But then I stumbled upon a startling bit of ritual which is practiced to this day. Women, not girls to be precise, they dance amidst the burning funeral pyres at Manikarnika Ghat every Chaitra Saptami. I was intrigued. I said, "Ye kaise ho sakta? How can they do it? What must they be feeling?" And I researched, saw many live videos. It shook me and also my character, Ria, who felt deeply perturbed when she heard about it. And that's when I created Preeti, one of the dancers, to step into their pain and resilience. And through her, I could understand the unspoken trauma and silent strength of these women. So now here's the funny part. Ria and Preeti became so popular with readers that I got repeated requests. ये कहानी हिंदी में कब आ रही है? And so then I released the Hindi edition of my book. And there is another incident, which is no change at all, exactly as it happened with me. One day, Ria, my protagonist, she was doing yoga. She was in the Shavasana pose, lying on the yoga mat, totally relaxed after an energizing yoga session. Suddenly, a lizard falls right on her chest. Poor thing. But the truth is, that was exactly me. That incident happened exactly as I have described in my book. So, and no amount of pranayama had prepared me for it. I panicked so much that day. So, writers borrow, steal, trip over their own lives while writing. So, a yoga mishap became a dramatic scene. A holiday discovery became a turning point for my novel. And then I feel that I'm just not an author. I'm also hiding somewhere in the pages. Oops, that was me. So now let me pass on to Jasveer. Jasveer, would you like to add something?
Yes, Sujata, that's true. There is an author, every author hides themselves in their books, there is something that we relate to. So, my debut book, Not Without My Mother, is a collection of short stories. And I wanted to dedicate my first book to mothers because we all owe ourselves to whatever we achieve in life to our mothers because they are our first guide, teacher, friend, confidant. So there are 10 different stories about mothers and the struggles that they face. And one of the stories is called Fond Memories. It's about it is a flashback story wherein an old lady is sitting in a house waiting for her son who has settled abroad and he's visiting her. So this lady, Preeti Sharma, she is waiting and she's getting anxious and waiting for her son. And while she's waiting for him, for his flight to land and for him to come home, she remembers a time when he was just 5 years old and her son is named Rahul. And they are in Delhi, they settled in Delhi, and they go to a mela, a fair during Dasera, when the effigy of Ravan is burnt. And in that fair, what happens is, like most children do, they land up running away, getting excited and looking at things happening in the fair. So Rahul runs to look for something and he leaves his mom's hand. And Preeti gets frantic. She goes crazy. Her husband gets worried, and they're all looking around. And finally, they find him sitting. The announces that there's this small boy who's come and he's been crying. And the security has kept him seated in the administration office, and he's safe. And then she recollects that the kind of anxiety and worry that had come into her, and the fear that what happened to my child. All that I can relate to because this is very similar to one of the incidents of my life. I remember that when my daughter was 5 years old, we were visiting Dubai, and we had gone to one museum, and she wanted to buy a dolphin, a soft toy. And we had already done a lot of shopping, and I refused and I said, sorry, we can't buy this. And I put my foot down. And she was holding my hand all this while. It was a little crowded. And because she was so irritated with me, she left my hand, my daughter, and she disappeared. Now, we were engrossed looking at all the different things there, and I thought she would be around. And when I turned, I didn't find her. My heart came to my mouth, and I was like, oh God, I don't know where she has disappeared. The worst is she's just 5 years old. And at that moment, I panicked. I forgot what clothes she had worn, what was the color of her t-shirt. And my husband is like, how can you forget? You're her mother. I said, no, I know I'm a mother, but I'm too scared now and I'm too worried about where did she disappear. We went looking for her and finally we found her sitting all grumpy, with a face that my mom didn't buy me this toy. And, she was sitting in one corner somewhere quietly, far away, somewhere she knew it would take us time to find her. And when I saw her, I can't explain the relief. And, I was so happy. And the same emotions, I have brought it out in this story, Fond Memories, which is part of this book of mine. And I'm sure many mothers can relate to this when, God forbid, if for some time the child goes missing, especially in a crowded place, it can be crazy. So each story is, the mother child bonding and how mothers are so, crucial and essential in our lives, and they play such an important role. So I'm sure the viewers will love reading the stories. It's available on Amazon. So I hand it over to Shritapa so she can conclude today's conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmeer, for another wonderful moment of yours. And I'm sure people are just enjoying it. And with this, I wrap up with our fun dive into the oops, that character was me, and where authors revealed the little pieces of themselves hiding in their stories, and from the funny habits to secret dreams. That's amazing how much of an author lives inside their characters. With this, next time you read a book, remember that there might be a little you or little them inside these sneaking between these lines. And thank you for joining us on this special episode of Brunch with Books. Keep reading, keep discovering, keep spotting those hidden moments. And with this, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Bye bye, Tata, take care.